Hey guys, how's everything going? Gonna do another video here. We're going to put a drain either here or here, so that this customer can, when they go away, they can actually drain, shut off the water, and drain their main water feed going into the house. So basically, they'll shut this valve off here, and they can open these valves. This one's a bypass for the pressure reducing valve, and they can open up all their faucets upstairs, and everything will be able to put a hose on here and drain it right into the sump pump. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using Pro Press today. Not going to be any soldering. Use a new Pro Press gun and press some fittings in, and show how nice it is to use. You don't have to use any solder or anything else, or heat or anything like that, and it should work out pretty good. So let me get this drain. I'm going to break this dual check valve here and drain the line here. I got the water shut off here. We'll break that and drain that into that bucket, and we'll go from there. Okay, now this is a check valve, so get the water out, we got to push that button in, and I'll drain this water out of this check valve. It's only, I got those two valves shut off, so it's just going to drain those two. Just that little bit of piping right there from the main house here. So it's just going to drain out. Like I said, it's just this little check valve button here. This is basically a water flow device that the town that we're in requires, you know, so that basically water doesn't backfeed back into their into the line, so they require a check valve. So you can hear it kind of gurgling out of there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unsweat this 90 here, and we're going to put a T in here and press a T right in there. So I lied, I guess I got to do a little bit of soldering, but that's not a big deal. It's actually not soldering, just unsweating. So alright, let me just drain this out, and we'll be back. Okay, we got our 90 out of there, and I figured I'd show you guys what a Pro Press T looks like. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them, but if you haven't, there's a lot of different manufacturers that make them now. These fittings are Viega or however you, and this one's a Nibco. Okay, so I think Viega was the first ones to come out with it, and then after a while, then other manufacturers started coming out with it. You can see, like, inside the Nibco gasket, see that's a little different. It's got little serrations in it. This is where the Viega fitting is totally smooth. So there is some preparation you got to do when you do the stuff. You got to, okay, make sure you ream both ends of the pipe. So you ream the inside and you ream the outside, so there's no burrs on it. And that's about it. And then when you put it together, like these ones have stops in them. This female adapter here has stops. And the T, also, if you can see in there, a little ridge that has stops in it. So they go pretty much the same distance as a sweat fitting does. So pretty much the diameter of the pipe is pretty much where the stop is. So like these are 3/4 inch fittings. So they usually go 3/4 of an inch inside. I don't have a tape on me, but you can see that's about 3/4 of an inch out of 90. And then to use these, you need one of these. This is a Pro Press. Actual, it's a Pro Press gun. So this is 3/4 of an inch here. So these are the jaws and they'll press that fitting in on that pipe. So there'll be no soldering involved. It'll press that fitting and make it press fit on that pipe. And if it's installed correctly, it will never leak. I've been using these tools when I've worked for other contractors. I since starting my own business, I bought my own, and I've never had one leak from if it was installed correctly. If it's installed incorrectly, yes, it will leak. But that's why, if the proper things are not done, sure, anything will not work or will leak, just like anything. If it's not installed correctly, whether it be a furnace, hot water tank, whatever type of equipment, it will fail. So that's why you got people out there watching this. If you're a homeowner, business owner, hire properly trained, skilled technicians to actually do your work. It'll, you may think that the cost is expensive, compared to some jack of all trades, but if something fails on you, and like something like this, I'm working in a finished basement, something like this fails and floods a basement, and it's not done correctly, that will cost you a ton of money. So that's just my preaching to the choir here. But so let me get this all prepared, and I'll show you how fitting is pressed in, and go from there. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to clean the ends here. Okay, you can see I had cut this tubing. Now this is also, you'll read on here, this is type L. Type L tubing is for plumbing. Okay, thicker wall, because you're dealing with much higher pressures. Type M is for heating. So if somebody's doing plumbing at your house, make sure they're using type L tubing, because the type M tubing is cheaper because it doesn't weigh as much, so you don't have as much copper in it, so it's cheaper. So there's something out there for homeowners to know. Putting some towels down here because I don't want to get stuff all over the rug. And so basically this is a reamer deburr. What it'll do is that inside will deburr the inside of the pipe, and then outside here I'll put a chamfer on the outside so it doesn't catch anything on the fittings here. So let's see if I can hold this and see if I can do it. And you can kind of see through there. So that's gonna take the burrs off. Hard to do this. Let me let's see here. Let's figure out how to do this with a. Okay, you can see after using the tool, it makes it nice and smooth. Notice I'm rubbing my finger on the edge and not cutting myself. Okay, so it makes it nice and smooth. Nice and smooth edge. Really, you should be doing this too when even if you're sweating pipe, because it makes the fittings go together a lot easier. So then you take your fitting, and it just slides right over it. See how nice and easy that goes on? Comes off, goes on, nice and easy. Okay, and then there's a little stop in there. You can see in there where the stop is. If I take it apart and put it back together, I can do it one-handed. And boom, that's it. And then once we put the pressing jaw on there, we'll press that together, and that'll be a watertight seal. Like I said, that'll never leak. There's also, they recommend you should put a mark here with a permanent marker, just in case you can tell if the fitting moved when you pressed it. And I have one right in my pocket here. So I put a mark there. That way I know when I press it if it moved or not. Okay, so I got the gun on, and I got my fitting here. And what I'll do is we're going to put it in the jaws, and notice the tool will rotate all over the place wherever I want it to go. Hook that onto the jaws there. You can actually do this, you know, here I am, I'm on carpeting right now. I don't have to worry about, you know, my tool's nice and clean, well, because it's brand new. Pipe's nice and clean, I don't have to worry about solder or anywhere, or flame where I'm working. That's what makes this really nice, because you don't have to worry about any of that. So now that the tool is lined up nice and straight on the fitting, make sure and check it. Then hold the tool down. Okay, and that's it. You just got to pull your, you can see how it actually presses it in there. Now that's a press fit. You can see inside there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can kind of see the octagon shape on it. And then on the fitting, you can actually see where it's crimped. So it actually crimps it on, I can't remember if it's 6 sides or 8 sides. Yeah, it crimps it on 6 sides on both sides of the pipe. And your O-ring is here in this little part right here of the fitting. That's where your O-ring is. So it crimps it on both sides. Boom, O-ring. And that, like I said, will never leak. So now that you've kind of seen a press in action, let me do this, and I'll show you what my progress is when I get done here. Okay, I just have 2 joints left to press, right here on the T and here. You can see we got our female adapter that's pressed into that T with the boiler drain on the bottom. Put a hose on it, drain it right into the sump pump. So I'm going to press these 2 piece fittings, and we'll turn it on. Check for leaks, which, like I said, if it's done correctly, they will not leak. So I'll be back to you after I press this. I wish I could kind of have the camera going, but I'm using my phone, and this is in a tight closet, so there's nowhere really to set it. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Okay, I made our presses on there. I've got the water on. Water's on. As you can see, no leaks from our press fittings. Okay, and that's actually street pressure on there. This isn't even after the reducing valve, so that street pressure around here is around 90 pounds. So we have no leaks. That's what we like to see. And this is a bypass in case that this fails. Any reason, you open the bypass and you at least have water. And you can actually, if you gotta leave water running, you can change this out with the water running. I did this, I don't know, a few years ago. So that's how we do it. Now they got a drain, and they can drain their main line right into the sump pump whenever they go on vacation. We're going to drop one of those hoses in there and shut the water off, and not have to worry about if their heat goes or something like that. This isn't for, you know, you would put, if you're going to winterize it, this will help with winterizing it too. You can hook a compressor up on there and blow the lines out. They're not winterizing it. They just, if they're going to be going on vacation for like 2 weeks or something like that, they don't turn the heat off. They just turn it down. So just in case if something, heat fails or power outage or something like that, they don't have to worry about a line busting. And you know, even if a line does, say if there's water trapped somewhere and the line does burst, at least it won't be flooding the house. It'll only be just a tiny bit of water that's in the line. So this is a good idea for people who live in the Buffalo area, because You know, when you want to go on vacation in the wintertime, I always tell people make sure you shut your water off when you're gone, and this way if you do something like this, you can actually drain the line down so you get a lot of the water out of it, so there's no pressure on it, at least. So in case there is a heating failure or power outage or whatever, and you're away from home and nobody can get to your house, at least you have that peace of mind that the water's shut off at least, and hopefully it won't freeze for a few days till somebody can get to it and check it, you know. So thanks for watching, and if you need anything, give RJ Dippled Homeworks a call, 716-535-0203. Thanks, talk to you later.